Okay, hey guys, this is Dan from Rasorz Reviews. I'd just like to welcome you to my first ever video and the first review I'm going to do as a video. First off, I just want to tell you what my videos will include in the future. I'm doing reviews, previews, news, as well as general games related info. So before I bore you to death, here's the game I'm reviewing today, Noire. I'll break this down into a few categories. Firstly, I'd like to commend Rockstar on producing yet another absolutely stunning, visually solid game. There were very few times in the game where I looked around in horror at the scenery. 1940s LA was portrayed stunningly. Perfect array of vehicles to choose from. Plus, not so secret cars that you had dotted around LA. The facial recognition technology as well was amazing, one of the major selling parts of the game. No doubt it perfectly matches the faces of the actors, some of which are quite well known, like the guy from Heroes. Contextually, wartime, it had its links to that, the army and the war, problems with American society in the war, booming the economy because of the war, links to the drugs being used from the things in the war. That all worked in quite well. The story, I did like the story quite well, but there were times where it seems to jump from, say, a crime to another crime too easily. So once you completed one job, you end up with one case, and then all of a sudden you'd be back at the station and you'd be on another case straight away. So that was kind of a bit odd. It can be very compelling. Now the gameplay, which is the biggest kind of area of this game, especially the one that I've got most qualms with, to be honest. To me, the interrogation system seems a bit tedious at times. Truth, doubt, and lie system can seem to hamper your progress in the story. But overall, it doesn't really matter how well you do in those things, because in the end you usually end up with the same result. So even if the lead detective doesn't agree with what you've done or your methods, you'll end up with him congratulating on a job well done anyway. So the game does a lot to nurse you along in this kind of way. It kind of seems that you don't really need to try that hard. Like the drive to make a player try harder to get a better outcome out of it, so you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. There's other features, such as the car and foot chases, that result in the same ending no matter what you do, or how well done. Catching someone at the start of a chase renders no greater reward than just keeping up with them until they enter an area with a predetermined event that will allow you to kind of capture them, or they'll flip over in the car. For one instance, right near the start of the game, I think it is, you have to chase a man out of a house, and he goes through the back alleys and stuff, and each time that I did that, and each time that I tried, every time, because I wanted to see what would happen, every time I get to this certain spot on the road and he'd fall over. And so I realised that it's kind of not really, you're trying too hard for it. Worst out of this section of the game is that if you fail too many times, which I didn't realise at the start, you can actually skip these action sequences altogether, removing all point in them for some reason. There were ones where you have to be a bit like subterfuge, stuff like that. You have to hide out, put up a newspaper in front of you, stop the woman from seeing what she's doing, a call thing. I kept failing at that because I didn't know which time, at what point to go into the bar. So when I went in, I kept failing. It said, do you want me to skip this action? So I thought it meant the video before I had to wait to see it and then walk in. Then it ended up that it just skipped the whole thing entirely, and I was at a completely different location. So that kind of seems a little bit odd and, to be honest, pointless. Next point is moving around the map. Now, to me, I don't want to move around the map with nothing around me to suggest that there's anything else to do. So there's no quick time thing, there's no random encounters, there's just that one thing you've got to do, and then that's it. There are those kind of random police events where you have to drive to another place, sort it out, and then you can go and and carry on with your case. They seem set, they don't seem random to me. But they do, in travel-wise, include a fast travel feature, which is letting the other person drive. Game also doesn't really reward you for exploration, so even if you went to the corner of the map, right in the top corner or something like that, the only thing that you might get is one of these special cars that are dotted around on the map, and that's about it, to be honest. There's other things, shootouts, for one thing, there is no way in a gun, once a proper full gunfight has started, that you can just shoot the gun out of their hand or shoot their foot. You have to kill them. That is the only thing you can do. There is one quite big factor in this game that I don't like, that seems to help other games along: XP. And you get XP in this game quite a lot. It's not too hard to get XP. They do get you costume unlocks and intuition points and stuff like that, but it actually makes you know better. You're not actually getting experience, you're just getting random points for things. Right, so these intuition points can be used in interrogations, or you can use them at a crime scene to show you where all the clues are. They seem quite useless at a crime scene. You walk around, you press A or X if you're on the PlayStation when the pad rumbles or you hear a noise, and then you look at the objects, and some of the time you just get trash and it's absolutely pointless, and you end up picking it up over and over again. And one of the main things is, when you're done, the eerie music stops, and then you know all the clues are found. So you know anyway. For the interrogation, they can be useful at times, but it can also throw you off. For example, if you see the signs of telling a lie and you think you have the perfect piece of evidence to back it up, and then you think, I should probably use an intuition point, you end up using that and it takes away a line, you end up doubting yourself. To be honest, for me, the big factor was it was made by Rockstar, and seeing as though they've just recently made Red Dead Redemption, and that was perfect, showed a great knack for taking the GTA gameplay and inserting it into a different time period. So I just thought, oh well, 1940s LA, it's going to be going around gangsters, police, corrupt police. But anyone expecting that, you'll be very disappointed. This game to me is like Alan Wake and Mafia mixed up all in one jumble, but it's from the law enforcement's point of view. So you've got Alan Wake's gameplay and the Mafia time set, and that's about it really. Impressive as it is, visually, contextually and technically, it lacks the proper tools, in my opinion, to mesh the action and the story together, to properly immerse the audience. I know immersion is like a taboo word. It doesn't really make you feel like you're the detective in a 1940s LA. This game could, I reckon, leave fans of Rockstar feeling a bit bemused, because they wondered why the game felt excessively tame in comparison to some of the earlier works they've done. Rockstar may have ventured out of their fun-filled kind of comfort zone, but the game seemed to promise a lot more than it actually ended up giving to the player, so I'm going to give it 6 out of 10. Please subscribe and like this video. I'll be putting it up on my Tumblr and I'll be linking that below as well. Cheers.